Hi and welcome to Sands Road, just before we hit the new year. Bit late with this update, but unfortunately there's been sickness in the family and one thing and another, and we haven't been able to do a lot. Progress has been quite slow, but I will show you different things that I've had for Christmas and also how far we got with different pieces of the actual layout. We'll start up here. There's a couple of products that I've been using. A silicone lubricant electrical cleaner, which is a conductivity helper when it comes to points and things. I've also been into our Dulux Trade Centre, and for a £5 you can buy a 250ml tin of brown, which is obviously very useful on any layout for going over scenic materials and things. So that's done me really well, and you can mix it down with other things. For the side of the track I've got another one. I think it's called cookie dough, and with a bit of brown in, it's just the ideal colour for the side of the tracks. I'll show you in a minute when we get round there. I've been very lucky this Christmas. Had some nice gifts from the family, from the daughters and my wife. Few tools here and a really good powerful torch, which is always needed. A new steel reel, which is always helpful. I've had a box of seafoam trees, and we'll be sitting inside sometimes when it's warmer, making these up as I like the greenery, and we'll be trying different applications on them. So that's a box of those to get stuck into. Something that's been very useful is a hands-free phone holder, which I could never find anywhere to stand it, so we're going to use one of those. I do get phone calls, contrary to public belief. Always very handy as an organising tray. I think we never do with enough of these. Now moving on to something totally different here, my son-in-law, who is a bit of a war gamer, he's also got a airbrush and a compressor. He has very kindly, from this to this, has recoloured all these for a basic BR era. So he's redone the metal stanchions, he's done the actual top pieces, and these have just got to have the plastic pieces, roof pieces put back in, which won't have the yellow lines on this time. So I have to be busy cutting up some cellophane strips to go through those, and hopefully we can move on, as you'll see in a minute, to have a better platform layout. Now we've been doing a little bit of work at the back here. We've been filling in, not sure how far to go with it because there will be some higher scenic and probably a tunnel at the back there. But we've made a start on it just to make it look as if we've been doing something. Down here we're going to put in another level crossing. This track will then go round and then meet coming in on the other side, which I'll show you at a later date. I've been working on the canal here, and very pleased with the outcome of this. I've got to put some liquid water on of some sort, whether it be resin or easy water. Not quite sure which one to go with. Don't see an awful lot of it, and I suppose it could even be varnish. Welcome any comments on that, actually, to see which one you think would look the best. We've got a few trees in there as well, and this is a cross section of the towpath. So it was built on wood, just with the front edging, and then weathered and some materials put on top. So and then put in afterwards, before I actually did the infill of the bridges. So that's that. Right, moving on down through. There's not a lot of activity on the platforms yet. I have weathered the platforms, and I'll show you how I did that in a minute. We've coloured a few seats from what was a bright red into a more normal colour for that time, the 70s. Harold's waiting to take off, grandson's been here. He thought it was pretty cool, so I'm doing the right thing, obviously. At the back we've been putting some more scenic stuff in and working a fence along there just to give it a little bit of depth, and we've obviously added some trees. Down in front of us here we've got, that was the other one, that's the cookie dough. A mix with a bit of the cinnamon brown is actually giving a quite a nice colour for rail edges, so that'll be one of the next jobs before we move on. I'm trying to work from the back forward because I'm terribly clumsy and usually lean on things, so we'll be getting the ballasting done next in the station area, and then also, well, weathering the track first and then going back and doing bits and pieces. A few more items that I managed to get for Christmas. Should never be without one of these, the Scenic puffer bottle. As people say, if you shake your fibres in there and give them some static, they'll stand up on the normal application of glue, or you can use normal scatter materials, but a helpful little thing that is. Right, we had some tradesmen from the 70s as well. Also from Scenics, some line-side fencing. Got some spear fencing here. Here we've got some very small items, some model railway scenes. We've got some trolleys for the station platforms to be painted, and also shopping trolleys to go with a shop or a supermarket. Moving on again, I've been making up some flower beds out of balsa wood, which has been made from these. I can't remember the company these came from, but my wife bought them a few years ago and they're now coming to great use. Also been experimenting with some artificial grass. Not sure if we can use that, it's been cut down a bit. Elephant grass wasn't around really in the 70s, so we'll have to think of another application for those. At the back we've weathered the piece along the back and the station platform. The station platform has been weathered using lead dust, which is just scraped from a pencil and then just applied with a light touch here and just rub it on. It's giving it a good weathered look. So really, you know, dry materials rather than wet. We've got a nice mug here, which I think I'm going to use as a paintbrush holder, as I had another mug for Christmas as well. Right here, and I like this one because it's got the right logo on it. The rest of this down here hasn't taken much change yet. I'm using wet and dry as a road surface, so the road markings will be cut out of stick-on like paper, sticky back paper, which I've used once before, and then if you want to weather it, you just do a bit of dry brushing on it to give, you know, patches and things like that. I managed to do the walkover bit here, again using balsa wood. Weathered up the gates, which were looking a bit white at the time, and yes, we've been making up some more material things here on the ends, and I think that's about it. I don't think much else has happened, so what you see is what you get at the moment. We will be moving on and putting on some various buildings on the platforms along with those new roofs and things. We're going to have a short running session now, a couple of freight trains. I'll start them up. Before I start them up, because you know it's a bit noisy, I'd like to wish everybody a very happy new year and a healthy one, and let's hope, you know, we get plenty of time to go out and see other people's efforts at these model shows and things. And a big thank you to all those people that take the time to comment or subscribe on my channel. It's always gives a lot of pleasure, that does. and hopefully you'll see a more of a difference next time we do another one. So for now, thank you very much indeed from the deepest parts of Cornwall, and we're just finished with a short running session of a couple of trains. Thanks a lot.